who Ron DeSantis is and thinks his constituency is. He thinks that everyone is this crazy anti-woke, anti-everything mob mentality, when it's not. Like, your average Republican voter is not to that extreme. But all of the people on Twitter, and specifically the ones that follow Elon Musk and all of this, are. So he's preaching directly to that constituency.
Yeah, it's a hell of a choice.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, maybe this Twitter space, the first ever presidential campaign announcement done live on Twitter.com, will change all of that and prove us haters wrong. Well, spoiler alert, it didn't. And all of us haters were only wrong in the sense that we actually underestimated what an absolute fucking shit show this would be.
Yes.
Which was a pleasant surprise, because the shittier the better.
Always nice to be justified.
So the Twitter space was set to go live at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it did, sort of, I guess. I mean, you could click on it. Well, sometimes you could, but and maybe possibly you could actually get in. But it was kind of a crapshoot. And then once you managed to actually get in, if you were trying to listen on your phone, the result for many listeners was just the entire Twitter app crashing, sometimes multiple times. On desktop, things were a bit more stable, but only relatively so.
And the amount of people that use Twitter on desktop is infinitesimal.
For example, like you might have noticed once you got in that the audio was completely silent. What's going on? Do I need to turn my speakers on? No, it's because it was pretty much silent for the most part.
Yeah.
It was dead air.
When it wasn't silent, though, there were brief moments of random noise, as well as Elon Musk and his co-host David Sachs mumbling to each other about why Twitter Spaces isn't working, in increasingly frustrating terms, as they jumped in and out of being able to be heard.
Seemingly not knowing their mic was even on.
Yeah. It was especially great dead air content because at some point in their live tech support sessions, both men were seemingly in the same room. They were clearly sitting next to each other on laptops without headphones and just talking.
Which, if you've used Zoom for like literally a minute, you know how that can, like,
the entire country just lived through this for the past 3 years.
What are you doing? And I guess, did DeSantis get a word in during this initial attempt? Because he was echoing a bunch too, right?
There was a point where he was on, had tech issues, and then whispered, like, there was like some tech issue with him.
Wow, what a launch.
Yeah, anyways, yes, just very funny that specifically, whatever you want to say about Elon Musk, he has been propped up over the past decade of being this tech genius.
He's a tech genius.
Who cannot understand that having your laptop speakers in the room with a microphone will cause feedback and echo.
I have relatives in their 70s who can run a Zoom chat better than Elon Musk just ran the most important moment of Ron DeSantis' life.
This is bare minimum tech literacy that someone screws up once in their life and then never does it again. So it was very strange that this, of all things, would have been one of the tech issues.
Yeah, trying to get into this was, I got in and I was like, I guess it doesn't work because I couldn't hear anything, even though I was actually listening to it. And I'm like, all right, I'll back out and try to get back in. I back out, now I can't get back in. And then I'm like trying on my phone, it's crashing, and like I get in and I'm like, is that sound coming from the stream or is this, what is happening?
Theoretically, if I were running Twitter, in a perfect world, I would want a studio that looks like a fucking radio station or professional podcast to be hosting a presidential announcement with what ended up being 500,000 live listeners.
Yeah.
Like, do you not have a studio built for important moments like this? They are literally, by all accounts, based on how it sounded, sitting at a desk in an office next to each other on laptops.
I don't know that Twitter even has like live video streaming capabilities anymore. It did at one point, and I'm sure there's an old laptop in a closet somewhere that has, the files for that, but like...
No, I'm saying even audio, just a...
Well, yeah, you would...
a recording studio or something that even looks like a radio station or professional podcast setup for audio.
Yeah,
with microphones pointed at your mouth and headphones.
Just working in an office in San Francisco, most of these offices do have like dedicated Zoom rooms that are these little soundproof pods.
Teleconference rooms too.
Yeah, like this is, it's baffling.
Yeah,
how much they fucked this up.
After, and it happened on DeSantis' computer too, because nobody knows what they're doing. No one understands that the microphone can hear your speakers. Who would have thought? Yeah. But after, 20
minutes.
20 minutes of just nothing outside of sporadic noise coming back and forth, the Twitter space just ended without so much as a whisper, just barely.
Without a peep from Ron DeSantis, which wasn't just like his own feedback.
What's going on?
Going into his own voice.
Yeah, so his announcement was obviously, much like Elon's launches, off to a great start. And sure, as many Elon and Ron fans did point out, this might be because just so many people were tuning in. I mean, they really, and I heard this term being used by, I think, Sachs, broke the internet.
That's what
which
the
is
kids say, right?
the most boomer,
Yeah.
it was a boomer phrase 10 years ago. That's like
Right.
at Machinima, an executive being like, turn on the viral button and let's
Yeah.
break the internet. So yeah, they broke the internet, kids, except even at its peak, there was only around 500,000 listeners, which many have pointed out is less than what popular full HD audio and video Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook streams have handled without any issue.
Yeah, AOC, she's just like, we got more than, we got like almost double that streaming Among Us on Twitch.
On Twitch.
And yeah, it's weird how these other platforms have no problem. Like, the fact that it's like just audio and it just ate shit this badly is just such a great example of how out of their fucking depth
Yeah.
Twitter and Elon are with their, you know,
This is
vast goals of taking over the internet and being the everything app. You can't even be the fucking audio app.
Mark Cuban did this 25 years ago.
Yes! It's not new!
It's not just not new, it is decades old technology.
Anyway, meanwhile, a second